Good morning, everybody. While continuing the unit directing, in which the one of the important element leadership we were discussing in our previous lecture, leadership that I have discussed with you earlier, it is influencing other in such a manner to do what the leader wants them to do. We did the meaning, we did the features in the previous lecture that it influence stimulate the behavior, so that's why it is known as the behavior changing process as well. There will be a interpersonal relationship taken place between the leader and follower, and they always work as a team in the leadership. You have to influence the people or stimulate their behavior to do work like in a team to a common goals, and it always remain continuous. As the business will move on, the leadership is also move on, as this is one of the very important aspect, because unless you direct the people correctly, they cannot implement the instruction correctly. But when you direct them in such a fine manner, in such a good manner, then they can implement their direction, their instruction in such a wonderful way that they convert them into reality. So whenever you are leading a team, whenever you have the task to influence the behavior of the other, in that way the leadership approach should be correct. Whatever the style of the leadership that you are adopting to provide the direction, to implement the plans, and to motivating the people, that should be good enough, because the leadership style is the manner and the approach of providing the direction, implementing the plans, and motivating the people. What is it? The leadership style is the style, or is the manner, or is any approach of providing the directions, implementing the plans, and motivating, or you can say the stimulate the behavior of the team, the stimulate the behavior of the workers. So this is known as the leadership style. So what are the major leadership style? You can see, please learn these names so well, and surely you will get one case study in your exam, and you have to identify that which leadership style it is. A story has been given to you in which is given that the so and such person is the leader or the manager of any department or any organization, and he is just working in the particular manner. The way is given to you, the approach he is adopting is given to you in the form of story or a case, and then you have to identify the person is using which kind of leadership style. So please understand the concept of every style so well that only you will be able to identify in the case study that which type of style it is. So this has three type of style. One is autocratic, another is democratic, laissez-faire leadership. I just want from everybody to repeat these names yourself. What are these styles? Autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire leadership style. Here are three very beautiful pictures are given to you with just setting the example of these three kind of leadership. When you see these pictures, you don't find any meaning out of these pictures, but when you come to know that what are the meaning of these leadership styles, then you can identify that what the pictures are speaking. But I can differentiate you. See, in a way, on the one side the leader is standing there, and two subordinate or the workers or the followers are standing in front of him. And the another case, it is democratic, in which all are standing together, and laissez-faire, in which one is just standing just nearby to him and another is standing just as a follower to him. So what does it mean? What these pictures convey the meaning to us of the various leadership style? Let's see. Let's learn the meaning first. Autocratic leadership style. It refers to that leadership style in which the leader tends to run the show by himself. What it refers to the leadership style in which the leader tends to run the show by himself. Autocratic means whatever is created by him it is should be automatically should be done like that only. Whatever is designing is done by the leader, that approach must be used by the follower. That is known as the autocratic approach. Like it is given, I want both of you to, and I want from both of you to do this and that. Means the leader just want whatever the instructions are given or direction, the follower has to follow in that manner. What are the features of the autocratic style? Number one, centralized authority. Yes, whatever the authority that remain lies with the leader. The authorities are not lies in the hand of followers in the autocratic style. The authority remain or restrict to the leader only. So the authority remain centralized. Single man decision. Yes, the leader is the only one who just take all the decision, direct it, instruct it to the people who are just working with him as a team. And the people has to do that work that is automatically created by the leader. Wrong belief regarding employee. This type of tendency just to develop a wrong belief that our followers are or the team leader are not good enough to think. They are not enough good to give brilliant ideas. Our team is just like that. Whatever we will instruct them, they'll do that only and this only. So it just develop a wrong belief regarding employee because communication gap is also be there. Whatever the leader decided, it is to be imposed on the other followers. So let's go for the next feature. It is only downward communication. It is only downward communication. Why? Suppose the leader is up the team, it is on above the team. So whatever that is given by the leader, that is given by the leader, whatever the instruction, whatever the guidelines, whatever the commands, the follower has to follow them only. Followers have no right to give any suggestion, to give any decision. Nothing else is to be asked from the followers. Only commands are given to them, instructions are given to them. Only these things are forwarded to them. So it means it is only the downward communication from leader to follower. Follower will no right to communicate any suggestion, instruction, nothing else to the leader. So let's go for the next one. What are the advantages? Now what are the, let me clear once the meaning and the feature what we have done in the autocratic style. In the autocratic style of the leadership, the leader tends to run to the show by himself. It's a kind of central tendency, the all decisions taken by the leader, and whatever he decided he just instruct or direct to their follower, and he just want from their follower to follow those ideas and convert into reality. So now what are the benefits of this leadership style? The quick and clear decision. Yes, decision will become very quick because the leader has to take the decision and very clear. Satisfactory work. The leader always be satisfied that whatever he instructed that work is going on. It gives him the satisfaction. Necessary for the less educated employee. Yes, this is applicable only there where our workers are not as much educated and we have to give the commands to them. Whatever we will command, they don't have the thinking ability. Their IQ is not as much good to think about themselves. It is only the need, whatever we instruct them, they'll do accordingly. So whenever the case lies like this, your workers are less educated and whatever will be instructed by you, it is the nature of the task that will do, they will do only that. In that case you can use autocratic leadership style. So where it has become necessary in fact, but like a coin, it has two sides. It has some advantages, no doubt. The decision will be clear, the decisions will be good, satisfactory work will be there, necessary less for the less educated people as well. And another hand, disadvantages also. What are these? Lack of the motivation. If you remember in our previous chapter, we have done motivation, when recognition given to them, when suggestions will be asked from the people, they just have the sense of the belongingness. They just feel like that they are the part of the organization also. they their initiative level increase, their morale will be boosted up, and they just work with more zeal. That motivation is lacked in the autocratic style. And agitation of the employees, because employee becomes restricted to the work whatever that is instructed by their leader. They just do only that work, whatever and how much is instructed by their leader. They don't do more than this. So it develop agitation in the employees, and possibility of the partiality also. Whenever all the parts lies in the central authority, sometimes they become partial. Favoritism can be there, might be. These kind of things are to be happen there. So this is all about the advantages and less advantages and disadvantages. I hope advantage and disadvantage of autocratic style, the meaning of autocratic style is clear to everybody. Then I'll move ahead for the next style. If anybody have any doubt, please raise hand in this. Otherwise, I'll move ahead for the next topic. Please revise once again what the three topic I told you. What are the three styles that I told you? It is your autocratic style. The next one is the democratic style, and after that, the next one is the laissez-faire style. So we have done our autocratic style, and then we'll move to the democratic leadership style. Suitability we will do all together after learning all the three types. Democratic leadership style. It refers to that leadership style in which the leader consults with his subordinates before making any final decision. In the democratic style, the leadership style in which leader consult with its subordinate before making an together. They just follow the principle, let's work together to solve this. So in the democratic, everybody has right to speak, everybody has authority. So that's why the cooperative relation develop among them. A belief of in employee has been developed because they just have the mutual decisions. They just take the decision after a healthy discussion, and which also enhance and encourage the open communication between them. Democratic is from the word democracy, where everybody has right. So here also in this type of leadership style, the leader just give right to everybody to speak. So it is the democratic style. Earlier we have done autocratic. Let's see what are the advantages of the democratic style. It is high morale. When you ask from your team leaders, when you ask from your followers, it increase their morale. They'll be boosted up. They will have the feeling or the sense of the belongingness. They feel like that we are important for our leader. Our leader is asking from us. It means we mean a lot for him. It just affects so much psychologically. In this way, it boosts up the morale of the person. That's why whenever the morale will be boosted up, the creation of more efficiency and productive will be there. Definitely there will be creation of more efficiency and productivity. Availability of the sufficient time for constructive work. Yes, when in the democratic style, when the decisions are to be taken together and they just work as a team together, the sufficient time for the constructive work will be more. But some disadvantage also. Requirement of the educated subordinate. Yes, your subordinate should be of that kind of quality or that kind of level that they can be the part of the discussion. The people who are not educated and who are not aware about those facts, then what's the matter? Then what's the use of that democratic meeting? No use of that, because the people are not efficient to give their suggestions as well. People are not able to take the initiative as well. So it is the basic that The requirement of the educated subordinate should be there. In the absence of educated subordinates, this method cannot be applicable. Delay in decisions, yes, as the meeting take place, everybody has to give the decision, everybody has to discuss all the aspects, so it sometime might be it just have the delay in the decision making also. The next one is lack of responsibility in managers. Sometime in the democratic style, what happened, the managers feel like that you have developed the decision yourself, so the whole responsibility of the team, they just don't take their responsibility. They feel like that you have taken this decision. The next one is the laissez-faire leadership style. The third one is the laissez-faire leadership style. It refers to that leadership style in which the leader gives his subordinate complete freedom to make the decisions. It refers to the leadership style in the leaders give the subordinate complete freedom to make the decision. It means we do take care of the problem while I go. Means the leader just have some subordinate with him who just work as a participant, or in a democratic way all the decision will be taken from that part of or that group, and the rest is to be instructed. Means some representative are there, and the leader just talk to and discuss with those representative, not with the whole team. A part of the team will be become the representative, and whatever is to be discussed in the democratic way is to be discussed with that part of team, and rest of the team is instructed. In a way we can say the laissez-faire method is just a combination of the above two methods. So full faith in subordinates, yes, that's why it is happen. Independent decision making system also there. Sometime because the leader left on the representative that they have to take the decision themselves that how the task is to be done. Decentralization of the authorities, yes, because some become the production head, some become the raw material head, or whatever it is. So decentralization of authorities and self-directed. Once command or the instruction or the goal is discussed with the team or representative of the team, and this after that all the directions are to be taken by themselves only. So the advantage are development of the self confidence of the subordinate. It develop the self confidence in the subordinate. Very much high level of motivation is there, and it also helpful in development and extension of the enterprises. But now disadvantage also there: difficulty in cooperation, lack of importance of managerial post, and it is suitable only for the highly educated employees. Because sometime when we become the make the representative of the team, they have disputes among them in itself also. The variation of opinion is also there sometime, so it cause some disturbance between them, and just because of that cooperation become difficult. So this is all about the laissez-faire method. Now let's see where these methods are suitable. If I talk about the autocratic method, it is suitable when the leader is most knowledgeable member of the group. When there is a little time for the decision making, time is very less, and subordinates are uneducated and inexperienced. Let's see where the democratic style is suitable when the growth members are skilled and eager to share their knowledge, when the plenty of time is available for decision making, when leaders want to involve the subordinate in decision making, and when the roles are clear to everybody. And laissez-faire method is used when followers are highly skilled, experienced, and educated. When followers have pride in their work, they drive it successfully on their own. Outside experts such as staff specialists and consultant are being used, and followers are trustworthy. In that case, this method can be used. So these are the various leadership styles that are to be followed. If anybody have any doubt, please ask.